really good to see so many people here to support the family for the celebration of my old mate, fabulous Phil. Now, when Tom and Bobby asked me to speak today, I was very honoured. I've been best friends with Phil for now 50 years, and I sadly miss him. Both Bob and Tom said to me that they wanted today to be a day of celebration, a day of laughter, a day of joy, a day of recounting old stories, and a day of colour. Lads, I hope I don't let you down in these few words. Now, Philip David Evans was one of those guys who attracted nicknames all through his life. He himself liked to be called Philly when he'd had a glass of wine or three, but the lads at the cricket club were a little crueler than that. I was just going on his nicknames. When he started running the bar in 2002 in the new clubhouse, we had a lot of Phils at the club at the time. So he was called Phil the Bar, which fitted the purpose very well. Then in his infinite wisdom, he appointed Phil Thomas as bar steward. Now that was a great decision. Of course, it was another Phil. So Phil Thomas became Phil the Bar, and Phil became Phil the Chair. Something he took on as chairman of the bar committee for 3 or 4 years before he became cricket club chairman, and of course, Phil the Chair fitted ever so well. Now, if anybody had the pleasure of playing cricket with Phil, they'll remember another nickname. He was called Shaky. Now, at the tea interval, when the teams stopped for the afternoon sandwiches and a cup of tea, Phil would go out on the balcony and have a couple of fags, and then join the rest of his team at the table. Now, in those years, the tea ladies used to put a large pot of tea on the table, and the idea was each player in turn picked the kettle up, the pot up, and poured the tea into the said cup in front of them. Now, Shaky always had shakes through most of his life, and would do his best to try and get the tea into the cup. Sadly, that wasn't the case on many occasions, and it sprayed over the fellow teammates around the table. But should he be lucky enough to get some into the cup, he then had the next hard task to do, was to try and get the cup to his mouth without spilling the tea, which really was in most cases rather improbable that he did actually get any tea. So in the last couple of years of cricket, he actually gave up that and took a pint of bitter from the bar, had his sandwiches, and he had far more chance of getting the pint glass to his mouth. In the last couple of years, he's written under the pseudonym, as you heard before, for the betting agency run by Steve Wunke. His pseudonym name was The Naked Eye. The mind boggles. Anyhow, the nickname I like best for Phil was Fabulous Phil Evans. Now, Fabulous Phil Evans, it just rolls off the tongue. And if ever a nickname could just describe a person, in my belief, it was good old Fabulous. Now, Fabulous and I played football around the same time for Chester Nomads. We kind of played in different teams, but we both had to retire pretty well for the same reason. We weren't very good. Now, the thing about how it's a sportsman, when you're not very good at something, as soon as you retire, you promote yourself to where you weren't. So Phil and I immediately became far better footballers and experts on the game. We decided then that we would use our newfound knowledge to go and support Chester City Football Club. Now, supporting Chester, for any of you amongst us who are Chester supporters, is more like a vocation in life. Many ups and a hell of a lot of downs. But Phil and I went to hundreds of home matches and away games, and always thoroughly enjoyed it. It's quite fitting in many ways that on Boxing Day was the last time I saw Phil. He went with Charlie and I to Southport to watch Southport play Chester. And it was perhaps fitting that Southport won the game 2-0. Chester didn't even have a shot, even in the kicking. Having said that, when we got back home to Chester, We shook hands, and that was the last time I saw him. We shook hands and agreed it had been another great day. We were very easily pleased, the Chester supporters. Now, cricket was Phil's main love, and after he moved across from Christleton, where Terry will tell you he was a very good captain, a very good chairman of Christleton, but he moved to Boughton Hall to be near his sons, and he fulfilled most of the roles within the club on a voluntary basis. You heard from Christopher. He was captain of the third and the fourth team. He was bar chairman, cricket chairman, and even last year he ran the Chester under-19s team. He gave his time. Without trying to curry favour, he just did it out of love for the club. It's my belief that amateur sports clubs such as Boughton Hall and Chester Nomads and Christleton only ever exist because of the likes of Fabulous Phil and the like. They do all the work for absolutely nothing, and they never want any accreditation for it. I did see thousands of tweets and messages that Tom has shown me from and about Fabulous Phil, but there's one that actually stood out, and I hope you don't mind me reading it out. It came from the Corner House Cricket Club, formerly the Bridge Inn, and it said, Phil was instrumental in getting the Bridge Inn Cricket Club up and running some 10 years ago. He never looked for any credit, just took pleasure in getting the lads playing again. He was a truly great man. What fantastic words, and sums it up. Now, over the last 4 or 5 months, Phil and I spent a lot of time talking about life and what happens afterwards. He was aware that cancer had no conscience. He was aware it was a battle. He probably wouldn't win, but he'd give it his all. But he never moaned, he just got on with it. And he asked me during those 4 or 5 months that should he not survive, would I use the occasion of his celebration of his life to speak to his family on his behalf. I recount the words he actually said to me, where he said, Chris, you and your wife have been fantastic in supporting me just recently, 2 or 3 years around the house, and he wanted it known publicly what a fantastic job you both did for him. Thank you. And lots of us are parents here, and we all love our children, but Phil probably loved Bob and Tommy as much as any parent I've ever known. He was so proud of you two lads, your life achievements, the way you carry yourself, and your successes. He was also aware of how he wasn't the best patient in the last couple of years for you both, and for the time, effort and love you showed him. And he wanted the world to know exactly what he thought of you both. Well done, lads. Now, we spent Christmas with Phil, Christmas Day, and he came out for Christmas lunch and he gave a speech at the end of the evening. And in thanking Yvonne for the meal, he said, I want everybody to be aware that I have great friends, I have a wonderful family, and I do not regret anything in my life. How fantastically said Phil. I'm not sure how to end up a small speech such as this. Suffice to say, I think there are people who come and go in all our lives, but only true friends leave a footprint on your heart. And Phil